Today on Teuty's track analysis, we have the track of the day for May 26th, Roof Edges by Nightw0lf. Roof Edges does not really have a particular style, but I would label it as platforming, and it is entirely made up of the road block. It also has plenty of effect and boost blocks, including a turbo boost, reactor boost down, as well as bumpers. As far as I'm aware, there is no GPS on Roof Edges, and there is only a single finish. The entire track is basically one giant speed check, but none of them are particularly difficult, and you should be able to finish the track fairly easily. There is a cut on Roof Edges as well, and the top times current cut saves around half a second. And finally, for the difficulty of the track, I found it to be rather easy and would rate it a 2 out of 10. The medal times also are very easy, with my personal best of a 32.925, coming in 1.8 seconds faster than the author medal time of 34.706. The gold medal time was 37 seconds, the silver 42 seconds, and the bronze 53 seconds. Roof Edges was a fairly boring track, only containing a couple of turns and a bunch of straight jumps, but there was nothing particularly wrong with it, and I would give it a plus rating. For the route analysis and comparison today, we are using the current top time for the non-cut route, and this was driven by Jurex. They had a time of 32.491, and this is 0.546 ahead of my personal best. After we go over the non-cut routes, we will go over both types of cuts. There are two different types of things people are going for, so immediately after the regular routes here, we will go over those cuts. On the first couple of jumps in today's track, you just want to do a quick air brake to keep your car nice and flat for the landings. When approaching these bumper blocks here, I'll go for the first block initially as early as possible. The other top time will go for the first block, but they'll hit it at the very end. What difference this makes, I am not really quite sure, but it seems pretty negligible. But you want to make sure you are slightly pointing towards the left here so you have a good entrance to the wall ride already angled at the correct angle here. I land a bit wider, but again, overall, really not a huge difference in this wall ride. You want to take it nice and tight, even cutting over the little gap. Coming up is really going to be the main difference in the entire run here. We both set up wide, but the world record will go for a small drift here while I just do a release. And this small drift is going to allow them to get a much tighter corner and exit with far more speed. Once again, on this exit here, you got a air brake to flatten out the car. Same for this jump as well. But when you're going for this long jump, you actually don't need to air brake at all. But you do, again, want to make sure you are angled slightly towards the left and hopefully get a nice, tight inside line. And really, you want to hold that inside line throughout all these jumps. I go a little bit wide here. It's not a huge big deal, but I'll lose probably about a 1/10 of a second being a bit wide here. And the track is as easy as that. As far as the cut on the track goes, there's like kind of two different versions for this. This initial one here will go for a very aggressive left-hand turn on the last bumper here. This will spin their car heavily around, and they'll pretty much go backwards over this reactor boost down to grab a reactor boost up, I believe, but I'm a little bit confused on this, and we'll see why later. But after grabbing that, they'll bang off the wall right here, and then they'll end up landing on the other side. Getting a zoop over the reset block will allow them to keep this reactor boost all the way up until the next wall ride as well. The reason why I'm a bit confused about the reactor situation is because here on the exit, they clearly have a reactor boost down because they're not hovering. So I'm not sure what the reason is to land so sideways if it was not to get the reactor boost up. But maybe it's just to slow down a little bit, but I'm not really sure. And we have another type of cut here as well. This one is going to for sure be a reactor boost down cut. We'll again see their wide entrance to the bumpers, but they'll hit way earlier and be less aggressive on the sideways landing. But they'll land pretty far inside here and jump off much earlier than the previous one did as well. Go for a very straight on approach to the wall, and this will fling their car out like this. And because the reactor boost down wants to suck you down to the ground, they just go flinging forward here over everything. Because of this reactor boost fling here, this is a much faster cut. You get so much more speed here on the exit. I would also like to mention that this is actually done in the cockpit camera view, and you will be locked in that cockpit camera view. I just figured that switching this to cam 1 just makes it far easier to visualize what is happening. And just like the last cut for this one as well, the rest of the track is exactly the same if you were not to do the cut. Since there is a cut today, I'll leave you off with the non-cut version of the track, and after this, you will be able to watch the cut version. But that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to like the video and subscribe. Check the description for links to my Discord if you are interested in that. But yeah, that's it for today and for the week. I will see you guys on Monday for the next one.